Ag Bioscience, the #1 ag tech podcast globally, is now available on video. Hear from leaders and innovators across food, animal health, plant science, ag tech, and agriculture. Mondays at 6 a.m. on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. While you're there, subscribe and leave us a review. It's the Ag Bioscience Podcast with Agronovis Indiana. Get more information at agronovisindiana.com.
Bears are coming to Hammond, Indiana. Okay, I want you to know that. Thanks.
Indiana with the ball at the goal line, ready to score to become home to the Chicago Bears. But the game is not over yet. We have the latest. Also,
with golf, it's always an endless pursuit of trying to figure the game out.
Golf's greatest players and TaylorMade equipment. The huge investment the global golf giant is making at its operations in Evansville. A snapshot of massive growth in the region. Plus,
a pulmonologist at Riley is creating a way for patients to test their lung function with a simple cell phone attachment. We'll have that story coming up in the Business of Health.
Inside Indiana Business is next.
From Indiana's business news leader, this is IBJ Media's Inside Indiana Business with Gary Dick, presented by Elevate Ventures, Indiana University, and the Indiana Association of Realtors.
Been talked about for months, and to actually be chosen is like hitting the lotto for our city. It's transformational. It's going to completely, people are going to be coming to Hammond, Indiana for Super Bowls, for football games, for concerts. It's pretty amazing.
Well, not a done deal quite yet, but very close. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott Jr. addressing the city council there on the Chicago Bears' decision to move forward with a new stadium to advance plans for a new stadium in the Northwest Indiana city. Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick. There are still a lot of moving parts to this story as we record our show on Thursday. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker in perhaps a Hail Mary move, opening up the possibility of the Illinois legislature holding a special session to explore options to keep the Bears in Illinois. The Bears announcing they'd like to build their new stadium in Hammond. Well, it's one for the ages and a potential game changer for Northwest Indiana. It was a little more than a week ago that the Bears announced they were advancing plans to build a new stadium across the Indiana border in Hammond, but there's still not a final deal, and the exact location of the stadium and some other details are still being hashed out. But Indiana Governor Mike Brown says he's got a good feeling.
After the treatment they got up until they gavelled out just a few weeks ago, what would you think in terms of where it would be easiest to spend the next 50 to 60 years? We got the hottest economy in the Midwest, lowest unemployment rate, cost of living's lower. Look at how much more stadium you're going to get for the investment built in Indiana.
Well, we've been in touch throughout this whole process with one of the key players in this border battle for the Bears, Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott Jr., and he joins us now from his office in Northwest Indiana. Mayor, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Gary, thank you for the invite.
All right, since that bombshell news that dropped a little over a week ago or so, there's been a lot of chatter on both sides of the border. Bring us up to speed. Where do things stand as we talk right now with the deal to get the Bears there? The governor's told me he thinks it's close to 100% in terms of the odds, but not done yet.
I agree with the governor. I think that the only location the Bears are focusing right now is Hammond, Indiana. That makes me feel great. But I also realized at one time Arlington Heights was the only location in Illinois the Bears were focusing on, and we've seen how it's turned out for Arlington Heights. So I'm not cocky. I'm not overconfident. We're not going to celebrate up here in Hammond until we get shovels in the ground.
Now, speaking of shovels in the ground, you have said you think that could happen yet this summer. That's pretty ambitious. Is that realistic?
I think it's realistic. And I know the Bears are in a hurry. The Bears are looking at this ordeal like they're already a year or two late. They wanted to be under construction already. And in Hammond, we have the pieces of property the Bears are looking at are clean environmentally and stable enough to support a stadium. We know that in Hammond, the Bears are doing their due diligence to make sure that what we're telling them they agree with.
You mentioned sites, as in multiple sites, maybe a curveball, or is it a curveball that instead of just one site, the Lost Marsh site, there are two or three sites under consideration now?
All in the same general area, but yeah, Kevin Warren threw a curveball last week, asked us to take a look at another piece of property, and it's a great curveball. We want to hit that curveball out of the park. I think it's a great recommendation that the Bears came up with. I think it's completely doable. And I know Indiana right now, through the Indiana Finance Authority, Jim McGough, the governor's staff, as well as us here in Hammond, we're working real hard on this new wrinkle and seeing if we can make it work.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has said he's willing to call a special session to consider a package to keep the Bears in Illinois. There's been a lot of talk in Illinois these past number of days. How realistic is it? How valid is this possibility of a quote-unquote Hail Mary from Illinois to keep the Bears in that state?
Yeah, I'm going to be careful about answering this one, Gary. I mean, I don't want to be on billboards in Illinois and get them fired up so that they contradict what I say on purpose. But, you know, for 3.5 years, the Bears have been dealing with J.B. Pritzker, Brandon Johnson, Mayor Tenaglia in Arlington Heights. There's been a lot of proposals that have come to fruition that never followed through with. I think if I were the Bears, I'd be skeptical about hearing about anything because they could have done this 2 weeks ago in the legislative session, and instead they just let it go without resolving this issue. So I'd be very skeptical if I was the Bears, but I'm also being very careful because I don't want to end up on billboards in Illinois and getting them fired up.
Final question for you, Mayor, and that's what to expect next. I guess nobody knows for sure, but what can we look for? What do you anticipate happening here in the next number of days?
Well, there's a lot of focus right now in Hammond on this new piece of property that we're looking at. It's around 110 acres, which is plenty big enough to build a stadium and the surrounding development. And once that checks out, hopefully we announce a big press conference with the governor and the governor's team, the legislative leaders, and the Chicago Bears right here in Hammond, holding a big press conference announcing the biggest economic development deal in Hammond's history.
Well, we will certainly be following it to be sure and be in touch with you. Mayor Tom McDermott Jr., as always, thanks for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks, Gary. It's great talking to you.
All right. Well, while the Chicago Bears have their sights set on a potential location in Hammond, nearby cities in the region, they're also looking to get an economic boost from that potential deal. As an example, airport and business leaders say a stadium development could create opportunities to reintroduce regular commercial air service at Gary Chicago International Airport. The airport only about 10 minutes away from the proposed sites and has received more than $700 million in public and private investment since 2010.
The airport is already ready. The Gary Chicago International Airport has been planning all along these years, and we're at the point now, right now, where we were able to provide an opportunity for the Bears to come.
While an aviation consulting firm is unsure if the Bears would bring new airport business, Airport Executive Director Dan Vicari tells us he's actively meeting with prospective airlines. Coming up next, the pulse on what's driving Southwest Indiana's economy. Our Innovate Indiana series rolled into Evansville this week, where a new interstate bridge, professional golf, innovation, and downtown development all intersecting to boost the region's economy.
Richards, get in the game. We're getting pickled here. And they're crushing our loan business, too.
But this Lake City Bank team seems nice. They offer small business loans from your phone.
We have that, too.
You can even speak to a real live banker.
You guys good?
No one needs to talk to a person anymore.
I like people.
Nice game. Come by the branch anytime.
They have branches?
Friendly business loans. Apply online with SwiftLend or visit real human bankers at your local branch.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
Well, building bridges in southwest Indiana, the I-69 Ohio River crossing, one of the major projects long anticipated in the region, one of the biggest as well, a new $1.5 billion bridge connecting Evansville to Henderson, Kentucky. It's moving forward with the Indiana approach side set for completion later this year. The bridge will have a toll and is expected to open in 2031 or 2032. Evansville and southwest Indiana experiencing a significant momentum in a number of sectors, from downtown Evansville and the riverfront throughout the region. And this week, our Innovate Indiana series rolled into southwest Indiana and the University of Evansville. It was the second of 9 statewide stops on our Innovate tour this year. And we heard from business and community leaders on what's driving the regional economy. Nestled along the Ohio River, Evansville remains Indiana's third largest city, with 116,000 residents. The metro area and its 360,000 residents serve as the economic hub for the Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois tri-state. Manufacturing continues to be the backbone of the southwest Indiana economy. Toyota's massive Princeton facility employs more than 7,000 workers. In March, Toyota committed about $200 million in additional investment in the Gibson County plant to increase production capacity for the Grand Highlander and related SUV production. Meantime, the advanced manufacturing economy includes BWX Technologies in Mount Vernon, which produces components for naval nuclear reactors and submarines and aircraft carriers. The company's plant along the Ohio River employs more than 500 workers and could be in line for a major expansion.
We're really just trying to make sure we have the amenities that are needed for downtown to really grow.
Evansville Mayor Stephanie Terry says the city is also attracting investment. In recent weeks, 3 deals totaling more than $100 million in Evansville and Vanderburgh County include a major expansion by golf giant TaylorMade. More on that later in the show.
Number one, businesses are seeing there's something's happening here in this part of Indiana, and they want to be a part of that growth. And from the quality of life that we're able to offer here, and then the relationships, I think with businesses and EREP and others in the community, there's really just a collaborative spirit here that everyone's really on the same page and how we can make this place even better than it is today.
Terry says there are visible signs of progress on major projects downtown that will boost efforts to attract talent to the city. Five years ago, the former Old National Bank Tower was imploded to make way for a new mixed-use luxury apartment development. The Vault, a $70 million development, will begin leasing in a matter of weeks. But like many regions across the country, southwest Indiana continues to grapple with workforce shortages, population growth, and affordable housing needs. But community leaders contend a regional approach and collaborative spirit here give them optimism for the future. Well, heading now 270 miles across the state to northeast Indiana, we meet the brains behind a billion-dollar business that started in the back of a Volkswagen bus. Chuck Surak started Fort Wayne-based Sweetwater Sound as a mobile music studio back in the late 70s. Surak has grown Sweetwater into the nation's largest online music retailer with nearly 3,000 employees, 20,000 orders daily. Chuck and his wife, Lisa, sold a majority stake in Sweetwater about 5 years ago, but he remains active with the company and many others with Sweetwater Enterprises. His next big thing, he and partners looking to build a state-of-the-art road course in Auburn, a motorsports investment that could top $250 million.
We envision people to come with their Corvettes and their Porsches and Ferraris, but also in their daily drivers. and learn how to drive defensively and not have to worry about speeding tickets and that sort of thing. The initial project is about $100 million, so it's a big project for the DeKalb County community. And as the project grows, as we build condominiums and a hotel and a bunch of other things, it'll be a $200 to $300 million total project.
Chuck Surak, the penultimate entrepreneur, he's my guest on the most recent Business and Beyond podcast, and says the track will also be built potentially to host IndyCar races. Well, still ahead, how O'Reilly Health pediatric doctor's innovation is helping patients with breathing issues by plugging a tiny tube into a smartphone.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
Listings grew by 5% year over year, continuing to outpace sales. Pendings jumped by 30% from February to March and were up 1% year over year. Sales were similar, up 27% from February and 1% from last year. Inventory is tightening, but growing year over year. However, inventory growth has slowed. We've been at 13% year over year growth for the past 4 months, while growth ranged from 15 to 30% in the 2 years before that. Prices are up 4% year over year, $10,000 higher than last March. Days on market fell significantly, and immediate sales are more common. Price drops are falling, but higher than last year.
Challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
faster
businesses
among
need help. Alzheimer's cases rising as population solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard. Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.
And that's it.
Great. Well, there's a little bit of a wow factor to this tube and smartphones, and it could eventually help people with asthma and other breathing conditions stay healthier in real time. There's also an Indiana healthcare connection to it. In Business of Health, reporter Kylie Valletta is here with that story. Kylie.
Well, thank you, Gary. A pediatric pulmonologist at Riley Children's Hospital treats kids with asthma every day, and it sparked the idea to invent an easier way to monitor their lung health at home. Now he's developing a device that patients of any age could use simply by plugging it into a smartphone.
Hundreds of Hoosiers will soon be using this device, plugged into their smartphone, to test their lung function. Spirometry is the standard test for kids and adults that measures airflow, but it can only be done in a clinic and only gives brief snapshots of lung function. And that sparked the idea to do the same test, but with a smartphone.
Our smartphones that we keep in our pockets most of the day when we're awake, and sometimes even close to us at night, is really a supercomputer.
Dr. Eric Forno is using that power to create the device called Aware. It could help patients of all ages with asthma, COPD, and other airway diseases.
It uses smartphones that we have, which have speakers and microphones, and it uses us basically as a sonar. Think of it as when you think of a dolphin that uses sonar to guide where they're going.
Sonar is a way to see with sound. Just like dolphins emit clicking noises to locate objects, the Aware device starts with the phone making a clicking sound.
The speakers emit pulses of sound that travel down the adapter into the airways, and then they echo back, and the microphone picks it up and then the computer inside the phone processes all the signals.
Patients only need these simple phone attachments.
Are there any deviations, for example, here?
A readout shows the size of the airways. Asthma causes airways to narrow. Eventually, a wear will give the patient a simple number on their phone showing lung function.
You may range 90 to 100% on a regular day. If you get below that 90% or below 80%, it will warn you that it's outside of the readout that you normally get. And so either that's a prompt for you to talk to your doctor, or it may eventually give you an idea that your lung health is starting to drop. Maybe an asthma exacerbation is coming. And so it's sort of a screening and a warning.
He's collaborating with the University of Pittsburgh to engineer the device. A grant from the Riley Children's Foundation funded its early development, and now he's recruiting hundreds of Hoosiers to test it in a clinical trial. He believes using the device to measure lung function daily will motivate patients, much like other health apps.
Having a step counter has been shown to motivate people to walk more. So this would be a comparable idea, right? It's not just the monitoring of your lung health in between clinic visits, but hopefully that leads you to healthier habits that improve your lung health, particularly for people who live with various airway diseases.
Anyone ages 8 to 70 can be in the clinical trial, which needs healthy people as well as those living with asthma or COPD.
And the key, as I understand it, is daily monitoring, right?
That's right. And in fact, control is a big part of the headline here because asthma is a hard disease to control. And the CDC, in fact, says half of children who have asthma have uncontrolled asthma. So being able to watch your lung health at home rather than just the 3 times you go to the doctor's office per year, that's a real game changer.
Yep, more innovation right here in Indiana.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Kylie, as always. Well, Fishers is embracing the live, work, play trifecta with a new $169 million expansion project at the Fishers District. JD Finish Line is moving its headquarters from Indianapolis to Fishers to anchor the project. And the company says 200 new jobs could be added over the next few years there. A new $65 million Fishers Fieldhouse is also going to be added. And the headquarters, it will be the headquarters and practice facility for Indy Ignite Volleyball, as well as youth sports events. There are also plans to build nearly 300 townhomes and apartments.
And so having a mix of people living here while working here, while also entertainment and playing here, so to speak, having all of that in one district really allows for sustainability long term.
The Fieldhouse and housing projects are expected to break ground later this year. JD Finish Line will move into the former Navient building just off Interstate 69. To Bloomington now, where the $20 million retreat at the Switchyard is now open. The project broke ground in 2022, but has been plagued by unforeseen delays. The 67-unit property includes affordable housing options and dedicated units for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. In northern Indiana, St. Mary's College at Notre Dame launching the largest fundraising campaign in its 181-year history. The $200 million Ring Out, Ring True campaign will benefit student scholarships, experiential learning opportunities, and a lot more. As St. Mary's launches the campaign publicly, it says more than $180 million has already been secured. St. Mary's College was founded in 1844 and sponsored by the Sisters of the Holy Cross. In southeast Indiana, a major step forward in a years-long effort to transform land that once was occupied by landfills and brownfields. The Vista at Origin Park is now open as a venue for weddings, corporate events, and more. It's located along the Ohio River in Clarksville.
Everyone has really welcomed the space who have come in, and they're like, wow, this is what we need. This is what the riverfront needs here. And again, we just want to be a hub for the community and to have different sorts of programming that we can do in our park now.
The Vista is the first big project at Origin Park, something that is envisioned as a 430-acre urban riverfront park along the Ohio, mostly in Clark County. It's also envisioned as a major regional destination. When we come back, we return to southwest Indiana to find out what's fueling that growth in the region. One of the key drivers, the world-renowned golf brand TaylorMade, why the company is making a multi-million-dollar investment expanding its presence in Vanderburgh County.
Richards, get in the game. We're getting pickled here. And they're crushing our loan business, too.
But this Lake City Bank team seems nice. They offer small business loans from your phone.
We have that, too.
You can even speak to a real live banker.
You guys good?
No one needs to talk to a person anymore.
I like people.
Nice game. Come by the branch anytime.
They have branches?
Friendly business loans. Apply online with SwiftLend or visit real human bankers at your local branch.
Today, you either innovate or evaporate. We are accelerating the pursuit of progress. From the foods we eat to the heights we soar, because this is Indiana, the innovation capital of the world. We rally visionaries across industries, investing connections as much as capital, and fuel our founders from dorm room to boardroom. Fuel your innovation with Elevate Ventures.
The challenges are real.
Type 2 diabetes rising
Small
fast.
businesses need help. Alzheimer's cases rising as population.
Solutions.
They said it'll never happen.
It's too hard.
Nothing will change.
Can't compete.
You'll never solve it.
And we said, watch us.
Whether you're buying or selling a home, the stakes are high. Realtors are market experts who do business by a higher code of ethics, and we're invested in Indiana because we're also your neighbors. Now here's the latest statewide real estate report.
Listings grew by 5% year over year, continuing to outpace sales. Pendings jumped by 30% from February to March and were up 1% year over year. Sales were similar, up 27% from February and 1% from last year. Inventory is tightening, but growing year over year. However, inventory growth has slowed. We've been at 13% year over year growth for the past 4 months, while growth ranged from 15 to 30% in the 2 years before that. Prices are up 4% year over year, $10,000 higher than last March. Days on market fell significantly, and immediate sales are more common. Price drops are falling, but higher than last year.
You have to keep evolving, you have to keep adapting, you have to keep trying to get better, because if you sit still, you're going to get passed by.
Rory McIlroy, one of many of the world's top golfers using TaylorMade equipment, a company with a multi-million-dollar business connection to Southwest Indiana. TaylorMade breaking ground this week on a nearly $60 million expansion of its warehouse and distribution operations facility in Evansville. Like hitting a golf ball, operating out of Southwest Indiana, all about location, location, location. TaylorMade's presence in Vanderburgh County allows the company, it says, to reach some 80% of its customers within 3 days. Meantime, Bridge Advisors, an accounting and advisory firm that launched earlier this year, announcing a $2.5 million expansion in downtown Evansville. The new office space, part of the company's plan to expand to roughly 75 employees over the next 5 years. And a major boost for early childhood education in Southwest Indiana. This week, several major companies and organizations in the region, including Old National Bank and CenterPoint Energy, all part of the Business Roundtable, committing $1 million to strengthen early education in the region.
We could not be more excited about this. The long-term impact is going to be substantial. We hope to raise $5 million ultimately between 2026 and 2028. We hope to raise that much more to extend this up to 5,200 kids comprehensively, which will cover about 95% of the kids in this Vanderburgh County market.
And the goal is to expand access and focus on professional development and coaching for early learning providers. Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of Inside Indiana Business. We leave you this week with images of what will be the state's largest splash pad in Englehart Park.
We are bringing the power of this to this with a new IBJ Media app. For the first time ever, you'll be able to get the Indiana Lawyer, Inside Indiana Business, and the Indianapolis Business Journal all in one place wherever you go. All across the state of Indiana, IBJ Media provides the news you need to know, and we're doing it now directly to your phone. To be a part of this, you can find it on your favorite app store. Just search IBJ Media.
The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Northwest Indiana, Jeffersonville, Muncie, South Bend, in downtown Evansville, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, Richmond, from one of the state's key entrepreneurial and innovation hubs, 16 Tech. Inside Indiana Business, Indiana's business news leader.